Hello and welcome back to the F1 Journal and to the British qualifying review. As Lewis Hamilton recovered from spin in Q2 to get pole. He spun in Q2 but bounced back for a 7th Silverstone pole as Mercedes dominated. Lando Norris was 5th for McLaren, while George Russell made Q2 again for Williams. Lewis Hamilton brilliantly recovered from a spin to demolish Silverstone's lap record and claim pole position for his home Grand Prix. Hamilton had appeared on the back foot after losing control of his W11 in the second stage of qualifying, bouncing back when it mattered, however, with two record-breaking laps in Q3, which beat teammate Valtteri Bottas. His final effort, a 1:24.3, secured his 91st career pole by 0.3 of a second from his teammate Mercedes, who locked out the front row. Max Verstappen finished third in all three sessions, but admitted the Mercedes were way too fast for Red Bull to keep up with them in Q3 after lapping a distant 1 second adrift of Hamilton's pole time. Martin Brundle said he did 2 laps that were good enough for pole position. Stunning laps from Lewis Hamilton. Charles Leclerc secured Ferrari's first second-row start of the season with an improved showing from the SF1000, at least in his hands, to get within a tenth of the Red Bull. But teammate Sebastian Vettel's struggles from practice continued into qualifying, with a 4-time champion only 10th. He also had a disadvantage compared to Leclerc, but starting on the more brittle soft tyres for the start of the race. From a second-row lockout in Hungary last time out, Racing Point achieved a best position of 6th this time, with Lance Stroll their only participant in Q3. Nico Hülkenberg, who was of course drafted in to replace Sergio Perez at the 11th hour on Thursday after a positive COVID test, had run in the top 10 throughout practice but dropped out here in Q2 in his F1 return. There was also second stage disappointment for Alex Albon, who missed out on Q3 for the second successive event. The Red Bull driver, who qualified 12th, experienced a disrupted build-up to qualifying after a crash on Friday and car problems on Saturday morning. Williams' George Russell, meanwhile, continued his starring role on Saturdays by making Q2 for the third consecutive event. The Briton qualified 15th, although was placed under investigation for allegedly not slowing for yellow flags when teammate Nicholas Latifi spun out at the end of Q1. Mistakes at any stage of Grand Prix weekends have become a rarity for the F1's 6-time champion, particularly in qualifying or a race, so it's a shock to see Hamilton's car briefly facing the wrong way at the start of Q2. The Briton lost the back end of the W11 as he rounded the sweeping Luffield right-hander, and his right-hand wheels caught the gravel and brought stones onto the circuit. Officials threw the red flag to clear the circuit of debris. By then, Bottas, who had already outpaced Hamilton in Q1, had broken Silverstone's track record with his first Q2 effort. When the session resumed, and with no damage to his car, Hamilton took a new set of mediums and comfortably went second fastest, but still 0.3 adrift of Bottas. But there was no mistakes from the World Championship leader with either of his dominant Q3 laps. Obviously, we had that spin. Qualifying is a lot about confidence building, and man, I was already down in first sector every lap, said Hamilton. I don't know how, but I took some deep breaths and managed to compose myself. Q3 still wasn't perfect, but still a really clean lap, and the second one's even better. It never gets old for sure. Bottas, who trails Hamilton by 5 points in the championship, said it was pretty good qualifying up till Q3. I was waiting to get everything right, but then I started to drift a little bit with the rear end in Q3. We need to look into it. And undefeated in Silverstone qualifying since 2013, Mercedes have now become the first team to take 8 consecutive poles at the same venue. Hamilton is the only driver in history to take 7 poles at his home Grand Prix. And the final classification for qualifying looked like this. Of course, Mercedes locking out the front row. Verstappen in third, he'll probably be quite happy with that, best he can expect. Leclerc fourth and Norris fifth will probably be happy. Stroll sixth, bit disappointed I imagine. Sainz in seventh will be quite happy, although will be disappointed to be beaten so much by his teammate. I think the Renaults probably would have expected worse, so they'll be happy. Vettel disappointed compared to where his teammates came. And then Gasly looked like he could have made it into Q3. Albon and Hülkenberg will be disappointing given what their teammates did. As will Kvyat. George Russell happy again in a track that I thought Williams would struggle at. and then you've just got the usual suspects down at the bottom, and they just don't seem to have any answer to the rest of the grid at the moment. But anyway, guys, that's it for this video. Thanks very much for watching. Remember to like, share, subscribe. Let me know what you thought in the comments below about qualifying. Remember to follow me on Twitter, link in the description below for F1 news, and subscribe to my other channels on screen right now. That'd be greatly appreciated. Thanks very much for watching. Peace!